Morning all. It's just gone 8:30ish and I'm leaving my hotel from Innsbruck. I got here yesterday, flew in, but the way the trains and things connected, it didn't work out, so stayed overnight, and now I'm heading back to the airport, not the airport, to the station to get a train through to St Anton. But as you can see, it's a gorgeous morning. It's really quite cold. But I thought I'd do a little sort of walking tour, a little very short walk to the tram station. We're at the end of the line here. We're in an area of Innsbruck called Amras, and you can see it's an interesting mix of more modern flats and very traditional Alpine type buildings. This one coming up on the left is brilliant because it's got the traditional painted window surrounds that make it look very posh. And on the right here we've got an old farm with some goats and things in a pen. And last night I was coming past, or yesterday afternoon really, and there was a family in there. The kids were interacting with the goats and stuff. And that little shed is like an automatic machine where you can buy fresh eggs and milk and stuff. So I'll have to cross the road here. It's got some works happening with a very modern looking buildings. But being a Germanic country, you've got to be very disciplined with where and when you cross the road. So yeah, little level crossing. Am I some kind of train? Pedestrian crossing. And then just up ahead we've got the tram stop. And the mountains beyond. I must look up the temperature and see what it is. In fact, there, look at that, perfect timing. Tram's just pulling in. It's only about a 10-minute journey into the centre of town. So that's not a big issue, but it's a very quiet suburb, this. The hotel didn't have a restaurant last night, so it was back out into the city happily without this bag on my back to get some dinner. I went on a walking tour of the Altstadt because it was very busy in town last night with tourists and stuff, but at the same time it was quite shut down. Being Boxing Day, there was very little in the way of things open. So here we go. So onto the tram, and at the moment anyway, I'm the only passenger. Very modern looking and very informative. You get that little screen up there, it gives you notification of where you're going and the stations along the way, and announces them as you come to them and such. But anyway, I'm going to stop this now, and I'll be doing bits of it on the journey, so you'll see a bit later. So the journey in was easy, as expected, and actually I've just picked up my tickets, which took seconds. The machines have all got multiple languages on them. Hit the Union Jack and followed the instructions dead easy. So I've got my tickets, and I've got nearly an hour now to hang about. So I thought I'd go for a wee wander around the central part of Innsbruck, just a couple of streets, and show you around. So behind me you've got the Hauptbahnhof, the main station, and then across here these are the bus and the tram stops, remembering to look left first. And now we've got to wait at the crossing. Always feels a little bit strange sitting here or standing here with an empty street at a pedestrian crossing. But it's the done thing here and in Germany to wait for the green man regardless of what's happening. Not only do the population frown at you, but there's a good chance that if the cops are passing by, you'll get picked up for it and, oops, she's being naughty, get picked up for it and get a fine. There we go. So as you can imagine, a normal weekday, this would be quite a busy spot. Lots of big offices and big shops and things. But it's quite cool to be looking just past them and seeing the mountains, especially this morning. Such a clear sky. The one straight ahead of me, you get the sun glistening off the left-hand side of it as well, lighting up the snow and lighting up the rocks. I'm getting excited about being up in amongst them. Had a really big relaxed breakfast this morning. Usual alpine thing. Beautiful big crispy rolls. Crisp on the outside and beautifully fluffy on the inside. None of that stuff that melts away to nothingness that you get in the UK. Lots of meat and cheese, some jam, boiled eggs that you boil yourself in a little machine. Individual baskets for the eggs. You dunk it in for about 6 minutes and it comes out perfectly poached to, not poached, perfectly boiled to soft boiled egg level. Good coffee, of course, and juices. This morning I had apricot juice, which I've never really come across before, certainly not in the UK. It's not a thing normally served. It was very nice. So looking straight ahead of me again, you've got more mountains in the distance, and obviously they're much more lit up by the sun. Being north facing, I guess. And north facing, maybe east facing. I don't know, something like that anyway. So these are all older buildings, the older architecture, but obviously you get some mixed in newer buildings as well. But I love bits like that with fantastic big doors that cover the vehicle entrance into a courtyard. And if anybody's watching and have come across Lime bikes in London, here we've got some Lime scooters in Innsbruck. Anyway, I'm not going to try and get on a scooter with this bag in my back. That's for darn tootin'. Now, I should be able to turn right, and be back at the station, Hauptbahnhof. Oh, green man. There we go. So we'll give it a try, see what happens. Plenty of time to waste. Might end up cutting bits of this video, but we'll see. And there's a thing I've never figured out in German. The word Gasthof, Gastat, etc. I'm not sure what the difference is between a guest house, bed and breakfast. You got pension as well, which is another word you see a lot. Never really figured out the difference. This one looks more like a hotel than a Gasthof. So it's kind of hard to judge the difference and look at it. It's labelled Hotel Sailor. Well, I'd call it Sailor. Probably Sailor, yeah. Yeah, in German, if you get EI, it's the sound of the second letter. So AI, I guess, would be the same, so it would be Sailor. Obviously some work going on here. A shiny new office block of some kind. Big queue in the end, don't know what that's going to be. One of the things in Germany and Austria is when there are works, they're always dead tidy. Both in terms of how they lay them out and the fences. But the way they stock their gear. There's probably an argument that best practice builders in the UK do the same thing, but think we can all quote instances where less best practice builders have been less effective at that kind of carry on. Of course, all the buildings here, even new buildings, will have basements as well. It's all part of the cultural difference post World War II. It's probably pre-World War II as well, but in particular post World War II with the Cold War and the nuclear missile threat. All of the basements had to be designed as, to some extent anyway, fallout shelters. So the doors, all big metal doors that seal, etc. Lots of Italian restaurants. Is that a restaurant even? I'm not sure what it is. Look at that, lovely square. I came through here last night on my walk, and that fountain lit up beautifully with lights. And look at those mountains above it in the sunshine. It's gorgeous. Damn, I'm excited. Oh, apotheker, chemist. Is it open? Probably not yet. In theory, when the green cross is lit, it's open, but I'm not entirely sure. What they do is that they have signs up, usually electronic these days, showing you where the nearest other chemists are. Because obviously if you're in need of medication of some kind, then you need an open chemist. But the one thing I forgot to pack was sun cream for the hill. I've got lip balm, but not sun cream. Lights are all on. I don't see a nearest one sign. Oh, yeah, it looks like it's open. I might nip in and see what they've got in the way of sun cream, so I'm going to stop this for now. Well, that was successful both in terms of managed to get some sun cream, but also a lovely little chat in German about me needing strong sun cream for both because I was going to be on the mountain, but also because of, as I said it, my Scottish skin. Actually, has been very, what's the word? Concerned. That's it. As to whether I had a helmet or not, and I said, yeah, I've got a helmet. That's why my bag's so big. Ski boots and a helmet, and it take up most of the space. That's why I've got the jet pockets on it and the side pockets. That's the one thing about these military bags. The side pockets are cavernous, and they zip on and zip off, so it's perfect. Anyway, so back to the wander round. Straight ahead of us, that's the police station. I guess the central police station, or at least maybe it was the central police station. I don't know if there's a bigger headquarters somewhere now. Seems a bit small for a city, but there we are. Yeah, so that's my little, well, it's not yet, but nearly the end of my little wander round the centre of Innsbruck. Grüß Gott.
Grüß Gott.
So down here in this part of Austria, they say Grüß Gott as a hello. Not sure what Grüß means. I must look into it. Gott would typically mean God, so I don't know what it means. When I was here in the 80s in the ski team in the army, I was in a valley a little bit further south, and they said Servus. And again, I'm not really sure what it meant, but it's used as a hello. So I've been kind of mixing both here in the past day or so, just because I'm not sure what the thing is. But yeah, look at those doors, massive doors, carved in wood, big decorative doors with a handle at head height. I love it. So I hope that sun cream's good, because it cost me 18 euros, which is probably knocking on for 20 quid. But you know what, I'm on holiday, and it was the right stuff, and it was to hand. Saves me looking later. So today, I should be in St Anton for about 11. I've sent them the hotel a message, so I can't book in there till, or check in there till 3 o'clock. So I've asked if I can drop my bag there. Then I'll go for a wander and a read and stuff like that. And one of the things I'll do is I've got to collect my skis and poles, but I'm going to see if I can find a ski top, a ski shirt to wear under my warm gear.
Yeah.
When I was here in the 80s, we had a day trip to Innsbruck because one of the guys, one of the more senior skiers, if you like, Andy Brown to name drop, was coming into Innsbruck to, I can't remember if it's a ski suit or boots he was wanting to buy, but it was something. And we were wandering into all sorts of ski shops. And in one of them I bought myself a ski shirt that had a mandarin kind of collar and a little quarter zip. But the great thing about it was that when you undid the zip, there was a panel there so that your chest stayed warm, and it had an Austrian eagle or an adler on it. So I'm kind of looking forward to maybe trying to find something similar just for old time's sake, and I could do with another shirt. So once again we're waiting at the pedestrian crossing. Oh, there we go. As you can see, there was other folk waiting for me, so it's definitely a cultural thing. What's confusing here, of course, is that they've got different lanes for different things. So I've been trying to train myself to look left when I step off a pavement to make sure I'm going in the right direction. And in this particular instance, looking right would have been the right thing. So there we are, back to the hot ban off. See what time it is and then maybe go and find my platform. The train I'm looking for is labelled Zurich, so that should be easy to find. It should be on platform 3. And I'm kind of hoping that the Austrian train system lives up to expectations, because certainly the German ones, you could rely on consistency in as much as to say it's going to leave on time, it leaves on time, which means it arrives on time, which means it's probably easier to manage the platform allocations, so therefore you'd expect it to leave from where it's posted to leave from. Instead in the UK, and particularly Euston, which I hate, literally about 2 to 3 minutes before the train's due to leave, they'll announce what platform it's on. And it turns into this massive dash with hundreds of people, all desperate to get to the train, dashing along the platform. Dangerous in my view. And I get that perhaps they've got to clean it out and they don't want the staff disturbed and stuff like that, but there's ways around that. For God's sake, let people onto the platform and they can wait patiently, find a carriage, spread themselves out and get on in plenty of time. Anyway, that's my rant over for now. So, do another little video a bit later. Chat to you later. So, I'm on the train, I'm stood in the doorway. I did have a seat, but my bag was getting quickly buried under the luggage of other people getting on. I don't know if you can see through that door, but it's absolutely rammed in there. And there's skis and there's buggies and there's large large suitcases and everything. So I figured with about 10 minutes to go, I would just jump in here with my bag so it didn't get buried. And it helped out other people who were stuck in here with bags and things. So don't know how much you can see through the door, but passing some kind of village at the moment. Hey, I could check it on my phone because I've got data now on my phone. Let's have a look, see where we are. That one and that one. Do that. That's Landeck, or Landeck. So, not far to go now. It's all just lovely mountain and alpine scenery. Before we get to St Anton, wobbly bit there, I'll switch it back on and let you see arrival. Well, that was a waste of time. My camera's just switched off because somehow I'd managed to switch it on to photo And as a result, when I thought I was pressing record, I'd taken a photograph and I've been gibbering away to the microphone. So you missed my walk from the station and all the interesting facts I gave you. But I'm on the main street and I'm a 3-minute walk from the pension where I can drop my bag, and then it's time to explore. So, gorgeous mountains ahead of me and a fun little place to play. So, one of the bits of info I was given was that, or I was giving you, was that I'm going to drop my bag at the pension just now, and then, oops, go walk about. Oh, I'm nearly there, I don't know where I am. Google Street View is a brilliant thing. I'll drop my bag, have an explore, find the ski shop, but also when I get my room, I shall unpack my ski boots. I'm not going to try and do that when it's in some storeroom or in reception. Oh, I don't know if you can see it, but they're firing the snow cannons up there, adding snow to the piste. Because some of the pistes do look a bit bare. Yeah, so in order to pick up my skis, I'll need to take my ski boots in, because unless I have my ski boots, they can't fit the skis to the boots. The bindings have to be moved back and forward to fit. Heel of the binding typically. Some bindings in the old days they came up with that you could move the front and the back to balance your centre of gravity, but to be honest with you, I don't think that's a thing. I think that was a bit of a fad. I seem to remember it. So yeah, that means I can pick up my gear, but I'll do that later this afternoon. And then a bit of a casual night tonight, bit of food, bit of beer. Definitely close. I think it's the other side of that restaurant on the right. Look at this sweet little home. It's like a doll's house of some kind. Look at that. Do you know what? Those supports holding the roof up at the front so remind me of Bhutan for some reason. With the, what is it, crocodiles on the end? But just the way they've been painted and kind of stand out in that way. Furmanstub, I think, was next door to my accommodation. And the church was just beyond it, so I think, there we are, House Inga. Perfect. Or as they say here, perfect, with a K. There you go, you got a better view of the snow cannons being fired up there now. And I don't know if you can see them because of the wide angle lens, but the skiers up there in the sunshine having a great time. That'll be me tomorrow. So, here we are at Pension Inga. That's my accommodation for the week. So it's close enough to town to be fun, but far enough away not to get caught up in it. Anyway, chat to you later. So good news, the room was ready. So, perfect. Nice little room, double bed, plenty of space. Or more correctly, it's an Austrian twin. Typically that means 2 mattresses, but 2 quilts. So if you're looking for a twin room in Austria and most of southern Germany, you don't get a twin room. What you get is an Austrian twin. So you both share the same bed, but you get separate mattresses. Something I had to get used to when I was a young squoddy, but hey, nobody touched nobody, honest God. Bathroom, typical, you know, sort of bathroom. Small but perfectly appointed and clean. Not at all surprised by that. I'm wandering around in circles as if I have to point the camera. I keep forgetting this is a 360 camera and I'll be pointing it later. Sorry about that. I'm on the main street. I've got a window over there. I've got a balcony view. Look at this. No, and an ashtray in the balcony for the smokers. There we go. This is the back of the house. Yeah, so this is the back of the house. Eddie Farr's customer. No, it's the family Falsh that wrote to me. I wonder if that's another one of their properties or something. So I've got a view of the mountain. Oh, there's a cable car up there. Not a cable car, a gondola. So I wonder, I'll have to have a look at the ski map and see what's where. But up there it's all avalanche fences. Big steel structures to minimise the chance of an avalanche, and if one happens it breaks it up very quickly. I'm guessing that gap in the trees is a stream, but it wouldn't surprise me if it had been avalanches in the past that had come down through there. So there we go. I've always wanted a building like this with the overhanging roof and the balconies and all that kind of stuff. So I'm really pleased with the room. Anyway, time to unpack. So you found me back at the spot where I came up from the station, on my way to pick up my skis. Oh bless, dog's got puppy feet on. Anyway, minor explore of the town, lots of shops, lots of old buildings. Well, they look old, traditional is a better way of saying it. There are some old, like the hotel outpost there is probably an old one. But then this one on the left is probably brand new, or relatively so, but built in the style of. Tend to do a lot of that over here. I mean, one of the big things they learnt, I guess, is the roof shape for shedding snow and so on. So it all kind of works. And of course, for years they've had double glazing, way before we did in the UK. And they've got the tilt and swing windows. So everywhere's nice and warm. I mean, the hotel in Innsbruck last night, the radiator wasn't on, but it was lovely and comfy. I was generally sleeping without the quilt. So, yeah, there we go. Anyway, I shouldn't be too far away from my destination, which is into St Anton. Yeah, should be just round the corner. Plenty of banks, I'm seeing plenty of bars and cafes and restaurants. Definitely a good sign. I'm going to guess that the ski shop is going to be busy, because I'm noticing quite a few folk wandering up there, for instance, with skis and boots and things. And I think they've had a last quick morning skiing in, and they're going to hand back the rentals. I suspect where they turned the corner. Yeah, here we go, into Sport Alberg. Right, signing off. See you in a few. So that's the skis sorted out, and very efficient system. They put the boot in a Guess ultrasonic measuring machine rather than actually fit it to the binding itself. And I've picked up my ski pass for tomorrow. The room came with a voucher for a storage for the week for my skis. So at the moment, it's in, you can just see the red sign over there, Albert. It's in there, and it opens again with my ski pass. And then I'll come up and get the lift up there on the Galzigbahn. There we go, it's gondola going up that way. You can see the lower slopes are a bit bare. Well, the hills are a bit bare. The slopes themselves are pretty well groomed actually. At this level, the snow is a bit sugary, which means it's a bit warmer than you would normally expect. The air's quite chill, but also this is a heavily trodden area, so that'll make a difference as well. Oh, there's definitely a racer coming down there in the white. So yeah, looking forward to doing this tomorrow. Right, boots back in the pension, and then a beer.